I think we have a picture from I-49 near the Ville Platte exit. You want to throw that one up there? If you can send video, that would help us out a lot. I'm looking at the picture right now. Just an ominous-looking sky there, and we definitely have a rain shield coming down. You can see how dark the clouds are and how heavy the rains are. If there's a tornado in there, it would be hard to really see. It would help if we had some video to see how the clouds are interacting there, but definitely some storm clouds there with some very rain curtain that's coming down there in the center of the screen. So whoever sent that, thank you. That's near Ville Platte. That's where one of the cells are that have the current tornado warning. It would have been just north of Ville Platte at this point now. So we still have the 2 tornado warnings. Again, about 10 minutes left on them, but with the rotation that continues to show up, National Weather Service may be forced to continue that, continue more warnings along this line as everything lifts off to the northeast. I think these cells actually could continue outside of Louisiana up towards Mississippi, and then they really become monsters. And they could really become what we call supercellular storms for Mississippi. That's where the environment is. And if they can already get going right here, and they're still on the stronger side as they move into even more of a favorable environment, watch out Mississippi. That is not going to be good news for them. 2 warnings for us here in Acadiana, 12:15. The National Weather Service last update was at 12:28 as they continue the tornado warning that is Doppler radar indicated. There has not been any confirmation at this point that we've had any tornadoes on the ground. If there was any type of tornadic activity, I think it was back towards the Hampton area in western Evangeline Parish. But 2 tornado warnings, both for 12:45, but they're both supposed to expire until 12:45. This one right here is moving out of the Plaisance area. Washington seeing some very heavy rains right now, some lightning as well, and there actually could be some small hail in these. I need to mention that as well. As this is all crossing over Washington, there is LA 103 that connects to I-49 back over towards LA 10 into the Beggs area. That's where the rotation, that's where the strongest part of the storm will be. Further off to the northwest into Evangeline Parish. So we're kind of looking at St. Landry and Evangeline Parish for you at both times since we have both of these tornado warnings ongoing. That's the area that's coming out of the Bayou Chico area, Bayou Chico Park up there, and getting into St. Landry, Centerville, those areas crossing 49. So 2 different cells that are crossing 49 in a couple different spots, well north of the interstate. Let me go back to velocity, see if we are noticing anything new here. Not really. Again, we have some weak rotation that's going west of Washington. That's where the greens and the reds are. And I like looking at velocity because this is really going to be our best indication if we have any type of rotation. So what it's doing, it's actually picking up the movement and the direction of the raindrops within the storm. So since we're using the Fort Polk radar site, the greens are going towards Fort Polk, the red area is going away. So when you have those 2 kind of matching up with each other, you have that green and the red on top of each other like this, that shows counterclockwise rotation. We're able to see the movement of those raindrops. So this is where the rotation is. It's rather weak, but nonetheless, LA 103 to Arlington Road. We got Abear, Ortego Road, Lopez Road, and then over towards 49. To give you an idea of where we're looking, this is just north of Washington. So well north of Opelousas. Opelousas, you're still technically in that tornado warning, but the actual rotation will be going north of downtown Washington towards the Beggs area. We're going to put another storm track on this, give you an estimated time on where this rotation's headed now, as we have Beggs at 12:40, current time 12:36, so less than 5 minutes there, and LeBeau at 12:51. That's your St. Landry warning. The other one here across now well southeast of Turkey Creek. So there is LA 106 that runs over towards 49. It's going over to the Milburn area as it's really St. Landry, Louisiana. These areas, LA 106, as you're getting off 49 there. That's going to be your other area of concern, but relatively muddy now. Relatively muddy when it comes to that. And there is St. Landry Parish right now. So we're going to go back over to radar. Do we know exactly where St. Landry Parish are? I'm assuming we're closer to Washington up there. We're at the exit of Ville Platte in Washington. Looks, again, pretty ominous. If we're looking up towards those areas, Ville Platte, that's the tornado warned storm, I'm assuming. So we're on 49 towards closer to the Ville Platte exit. Tough to say again, we're a little bit too far away from where the storm is. I guess that's one of our camera crews that has run up there really fast to get us this good video of 49 in St. Landry Parish. We're too far away to really know, and what we get here is rain-wrapped tornadoes anyway, so we don't want to send them into the storm. This is not what you're going to see out in Oklahoma or Texas, where you have a lot of space to work with out there and a lot of flat space, a lot of flat land where you can actually see the tornado and be away from the rainfall and everything. That's not what we're going to have here. These are going to be rain-wrapped tornadoes. If you happen to get into some of the storm, you're not going to be able to see the tornado. It's not going to be, again, like what you see on the Discovery Channel, where they're chasing those tornadoes out in Oklahoma, Texas, those areas that have the really flat areas. So let's get back to radar, as there's still, again, 7 minutes left on both these tornado warnings. National Weather Service at 12:37, just 2 minutes ago. Continuing with that, warnings with the one in, let's just check it to make sure. They're talking about the one in St. Landry Parish. And notice the deep dark reds. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Washington area, just north of Washington, could be seeing some torrential rains and also some hail within this storm. Let's go back over to velocity, as I am noticing some stronger rotation now starting to show up just north of downtown Washington. So it's going to miss Washington, but nonetheless, you can see with this green area matching with that deep dark red, it's crossing LA 10 right where 49 is. So let's get an idea of where we're looking at. Again, LA 10, if you get off at LA 10 at 49, that's exactly where the rotation is. And just getting some towns would be Beggs and Lebu over towards Waxia. Those areas going up towards, it looks like just north of Palmetto. I know we had a Palmetto tornado there a year or so ago. Usually Chief Meteorologist Heath Morton's here to tell me which gets those dates right. But I think just north of Palmetto at this point, it looks like Palmetto would be pretty close to that. It's going more to the Beggs area, where we are seeing that other area of rotation. This, again, is in St. Landry Parish. So there's LA 10. As Plant Road comes off of that, we're going further up to Beggs, Ollie Lane, Solid Waste Road, those areas, North Road, and then LA 182. So right where that fork is, LA 10 to LA 182, stay inside. That's exactly where we're seeing the rotation within this storm, as we have that tornado warning on that area right there, just north of downtown Washington. It looks like what they're going to do from the National Weather Service is they're going to let this one in northern in Evangeline Parish expire. So there's, again, about 4 minutes left on this one up here that I'm showing. They're going to let that one expire, and they're just going to call that a strong thunderstorm. They can issue that as well. It doesn't pop up on your phone, but it just gives you an advisory that, hey, there's a strong thunderstorm there. It's no longer really rotating. But I can almost predict here that the National Weather Service, because there's only about 4 minutes left on this warning as well, down across the Beggs area in St. Landry Parish, given what I'm seeing on velocity and the rotation here crossing 49, crossing LA 10, right there at the fork of LA 10 to, 182, the Beggs area. That's exactly where this rotation is headed. And with that warning set to expire in about 3 minutes, they're going to have to reissue again. Palmetto, I know, again, you had a pretty significant tornadic activity there in the early morning hours one day. I think it was a Friday night, Saturday morning. That rotation is going to be close to Palmetto, but I think it's going to run more across LA 10 here up towards the Lebeau area, and then that will head more towards the northeast. So let's put another storm track on this, because, again, this is definitely showing some significant signs of rotation as it's moved into the Beggs area, and that would put it at Lebeau at, again, 12:53. The actual warning is 12:45, but more than likely they're going to have to let this one, they're going to have to reissue this one as it's still in the warning box, and it's still kind of running behind here. So that would be our only area of concern. Again, as I mentioned, the one in Evangeline Parish, they're going to go ahead and let that expire, so that will be knocked off here in about 2 minutes. The time's turning to 12:43. This is the area of concern now that we have. We're going to go back to radar that shows all the rainfall here for you, and then we're going to continue to track this storm. I think as it moves out of St. Landry Parish, it's going to go west of Palmetto. But definitely some signs of some strong, very heavy torrential rains coming out of the Beggs area. You see the lightning strikes with it right now. Let's go ahead and take the lightning off. And that's heading straight towards LeBeau, as that's the Doppler radar indicated rotation, those areas right there. And once radar goes over these cells, you can see how dark that red turns. That's what we added to our radar to give you the emphasis of how heavy the rains are within this site, and there definitely could be some hail within that. Let's see if we're going to put some, going to play with some of our toys here. Definitely showing some signs of rotation in these two cells. You see the rotation monitors up there, as we're seeing that rotation going towards, again, out of the Beggs area, pretty much running right LA10 into LeBeau there. So very strong rotation. I'm going to go back to velocity, because now we are really starting to get some signs of some strong rotation coming out. Again, going towards Beggs and further towards the northeast. I think it will be going just west of Palmetto, but it's going to run LA10 here. It's going to run right along LA10. And I'm looking off screen as well with the rotation on some of the weather apps we're able to download here, and it definitely has now, as it's crossed over 49 and more into Beggs, it shows some significant what we call gate-to-gate shear, a very strong, tight couplet, which is an indication that there more than likely will be a tornado there. So they're going to have to go ahead and reissue this tornado warning. That one should have expired by now. They sure did let that expire, but they're going to have to reissue. We're going to stay on here for about 2 to 3 minutes to see what the National Weather Service is going to do with this. But they really need to reissue another tornado warning just east of Beggs, Louisiana, going up towards LeBeau. So that's 71 towards LA10, downtown LeBeau. 71, LA10, that area right there definitely has indications of strong rotation. It pretty much is riding right along LA10 because of how LA10 runs from southwest to northeast. They are talking about it. They say that their attention's on this storm, but again, no warning has been issued with this, which is a little bit surprising. They're a little slow. Given that we are getting some pretty decent rotation, and given that we had broad rotation on the other ones that they were doing. I think they're getting ready to issue. There it is. A little slow on that one. New tornado warning just issued here until 1:15. Current time 12:46. So this will go for another 30 minutes. This area right here, as it's crossing, or not crossing, it's running along LA10. This is going to be the area that we're really going to have to focus in on, as that is Sugar House Camp Road, Moraine Road, up towards LeBeau. LA71, right where LA10, LA71 meet up. That rotation's heading right to those areas. So that's also Tanner Road. That's LA361. Looks like LA361 comes off of 71. And Palmetto, again, it's going to be a close call for you folks there. I know you're in that tornado warning right now, but the actual trend should keep that rotation west of your area. But there is LA10 that runs from LeBeau into Palmetto. That area is going to be moving right along LA10 right into downtown LeBeau. I can't stress this enough. This is Doppler radar indicated, but based on what I'm seeing on radar, this is a significant signature that we may actually have a tornado here in this area that I'm going to focus in on right now. So if I mention your road, if you're in LeBeau, if you're anywhere along LA 10 heading into LeBeau or 71 where those match, you have to be inside with this one. Some significant gate-to-gate shear and a tight couplet is showing up as it's running straight along LA 10. That couplet, again, Moraine Road up towards Dutch Road, right into downtown LeBeau and 71. So LA 10 and 71, that intersection, that's going to be your main concern here, that we possibly have a tornado within this storm. Tornado warning goes until until 1:15. I'm going to put up some wind speeds to see what we have here, again, as that rotation is pretty much running straight with LA 10. As that continues to work off to the northeast. Let's see if we have some of that. We have the tornado warning. I'm going to put that down so we can get, again, some of the winds within the storm. You have 22. It doesn't look all that impressive when you click around on some of these, but some of these pixels just, I don't think, are showing the correct speed. Definitely have some stronger signs of rotation in this area right here that's heading up towards LeBeau. That'll be right where LA 10 meets LA 71. That is the only warning we have now. They've let the other one expire. Let's go back to radar that we're kind of used to seeing. No problems here anywhere further south of these storms. Lafayette, just a light rainfall, a couple showers there. These are the storms that are going to continue to really work outside the area and then eventually up towards Mississippi where the environment is even more conducive for tornadic behavior. So these actually may become eventually supercellular storms. I wouldn't really call them supercellular at this point. That's when you see some very large, long-track tornadoes. If we have any type of tornadic activity, it's going to be going right towards LeBeau. That's the heaviest part of the storm, some lightning strikes with that, and there definitely has been some rotation with that storm. As it's going exactly, it continues to track towards the LeBeau area, LA 71, right into where LA 10 runs into 71, and then you have LA 361 there. So you got Highway 71, LA 10, those two hit each other right there at LeBeau, and that's where the rotation's exactly heading to. So that's heading off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So it is moving rather quickly. That warning goes all the way up into Avoyelles Parish. Notice how the polygon is. And that would be Odenburg and those areas, but a lot of that is outside of our viewing area. Palmetto, I understand that we've had some tornadic activity there before, about a year or so ago, a couple years actually now. Significant, I think that was an EF3 tornado that went through Palmetto in the overnight hours there in St. Landry Parish. This one definitely looks like it's going to go west of you if we have any type of tornado on the ground there. So that's heading to those areas as it's, again, moving off to the northeast. And the rotation is weakening some, which is also good. We see it's not as tight together with the greens and the reds. Very tight rotation as we came out of the Beggs area. As that rotation continues to work right along LA 10 into Highway 71 there. This is going to miss Palmetto. It's going to be west of your location there. Tornado warning until 1:15 on this as we continue to track the severe threat. That's it. This is it. I think we're going to still have a severe threat all the way through much of the afternoon and evening hours, but for right now, the immediate threat is these two cells that have been up there across northern Acadiana, mainly Evangeline and St. Landry Parish. I'm going to try to throw back up the watches here. Let's see if we still have the tornado watch, and you can see where the tornado watch is. So that does include Acadia Parish. Lafayette's not included in this. Again, it's a little hard to see how it's all set up, but it's mostly for northern Acadiana when it comes to this tornado watch. So a watch means that the conditions are out there to produce tornadic activity. A warning means that we are seeing the possibility of a tornado. So we need to know kind of the difference on an afternoon and evening like this. We need to know the differences between those two. There is some confusion. Some people think a tornado watch means, hey, we have a tornado on the ground, watch out. It's not. It's not the case. Tornado watch means that, hey, We need to be on the lookout. There's not anything yet that's happening. Warning means take cover immediately, take that action immediately. And that's what we have right now. Just west of Palmetto with this storm now moving over the LeBeau area that I've been talking about. So you're in the heart of it at the moment. Hopefully anybody that was watching and listening here across northern and northeastern St. Landry Parish took my warning and stayed inside, took some cover there in the LeBeau area, because that's really where we are seeing the strongest portion of that storm. Further off to the northwest with that other cell that was at one point showing rotation, a lot of heavy rains for Bunkie, Milburn, over towards Cottonport, but no warning with this. That's most of really southern Avoyelles Parish. As we zoom out for you. So we have the two different, we have the one tornado warning, but the two different cells. And again, usually what happens down here is we're going to have these cells move up towards Mississippi, where they really become a very, very large supercellular storm. Considering the environment that these storms are going to be moving into, if they're able to hold together and get up there, I think you're going to hear about these later on. As we still have the tornado warning across St. Landry Parish right now, going west of Palmetto. So really, again, the strongest part of this storm, LeBeau. There's LA 361 as it's moving out of Highway 71 there. So that's Tanner Road, LA 361 up towards those areas. But we are getting into more rural areas of St. Landry Parish, but nonetheless, there are some roads out here that tells us that there are still some residences, some houses, some farmland that I'm sure people are watching here across those areas. Let's go back to velocity just to see if we're noticing anything. Again, pretty tough now. We're getting away, a little bit away from the radar site, but you can still see where the greens and the reds are matching coming out of LeBeau, crossing Highway 71 there. There's LA 10. So right there at that intersection, if we had any type of rotation, if we had any type of tornadic activity, it's going to be right there. Pretty easy. That's Meteorology 101 is when you go to school, one thing that they teach you right away is how to read velocity and what you're exactly looking for here. And we're not seeing any straight line winds with this. When you have the greens and the reds together, there's going to be some strong winds regardless of any type of rotation, as this now is moving north of LA 10. So Palmetto, it has again just went west of your location. I'd still be inside across Palmetto, but the actual strongest part of the storm is moving away from you and north of your location from downtown Palmetto. This eventually will be crossing over here as it's going over to those areas, to northeast St. Landry Parish. So next in line would be Bayou Current, and there is LA 105 as it runs across the eastern half, the eastern edges of St. Landry Parish. Notice how the lightning strikes have really started to show up as well. So some indications that this could be cycling once again with some stronger indications that this will become a heavy storm with some frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes as it moves up towards, looks like east of Taterville, and that warning again goes until 1:15. Everything else, anybody else that's back here, LeBeau now, you're out, you're in the clear. Beggs definitely in the clear. Palmetto basically in the clear as well. Now there's probably still pretty heavy rain there in Palmetto. The warmer colors you're seeing on radar, that's the heavier rains. And then the lightning strikes, that's also an indication that we're getting a very strong cell here that could be rotating. Fortunately, it's moving quickly, so it's going to be out of St. Landry Parish here probably in the next 20 minutes. And again, this warning goes until 1:15, so it's going to get removed away from the Lake Charles National Weather Service here. It won't be their responsibility anymore, as these will continue to work off to the northeast. The good news is further down to the southwest, there is not much going on. We have some spotty showers here from Lafayette, Abbeville, back down towards the southern portions of Jeff Davis Parish. Nothing that is strong to severe here and doesn't show any signs of becoming strong to severe. It's just been these two cells that really just got into a little bit of a perfect environment at the right time to start rotating. Now the one across Bunkie over towards Simsport, no more warning with that one, as we are getting heavy rains in southern Avoyelles Parish. But we're going to continue to stay with this one last tornado warning here that's north now of Palmetto. getting into the very rural areas now of St. Landry Parish. So hopefully it will just stay out there in the very rural areas and we're not seeing any type of tornadic activity. Let's go back over towards, go up towards St. Landry Parish with the velocity once again. Showing some strong rotation there. North of Palmetto, south of Taterville here, and the National Weather Service is continuing with this one. Say that again, Drake. Okay, all right. We're going to stay with the warning until it expires here, which again goes until 1:15. We're coming up on 1 o'clock here, but definitely some rotation north of Palmetto. That's the good news, is it looks like it missed Palmetto, considering that they did go through a significant tornadic event a couple years ago. We have, let's see, Levee Road, Roscoe Baum Road, those areas, that's where the rotation is right now, where the green and the reds are matching up with each other. So getting away now from LeBeau, that was the area that I kept really honing in on as this rotation moved in there. LA 361, it looks like it's moving east of those areas, north of Palmetto, east of LA 361. So getting out of that area, Rosa, you're in the clear. LeBeau, you're in the clear. Palmetto, you're in the clear. Looks like next in line, it's going to go south of Taterville over towards Bayou Current, those areas. Seeing some rotation now across much of St. Landry Parish, much of northeastern St. Landry Parish. Just north of Palmetto, you're very close there. Melville, you're not included in this. You see where that tornado warning polygon shows some southeastern edges of Avoyelles Parish, but it looks like that rotation, it's going to be close. I mean, it's going to go north of Palmetto, and it's going to continue that northeasterly track. Here's some of those roads here. We have Vizay Road, Levee Road, Keller Lake Road. Those are the areas next in northeastern, again, northeastern St. Landry Parish that will see some, that is seeing some significant rotation. And this storm is cycling. I've been talking about it since I came on. It's been over an hour now. And that's typical with this type of setup, where we have rotation that's relatively tight. Then that storm will lose its rotation. It will cycle once again, and we'll get another tight rotation. And, I mean, you can see where the greens and the reds are matching up very, very tightly here. So, once again, showing some cycling here that we're going to Roscoe Road there, Levee Road, and then Vizay Road, if that's correct. Hopefully I'm saying those right, because, again, we are having some rotation moving into those areas. Here's Keller Lake Road. If you're anywhere on Keller Lake Road, please stay inside. That is some tight rotation. I'm going to show you, again, what we're seeing, because, again, we're using the Fort Polk radar site. So that's going to be up to the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That's going towards Fort Polk. And then we have the red going away from Fort Polk. And that's all towards north of Palmetto as this continues to work off to the northeast. So we definitely have signs of some pretty strong rotation, counterclockwise rotation there across those areas. We have that tornado warning that goes until 1:15. Current time is 1 p.m. on this Tuesday with some strong rotation now just north of the Palmetto area going up towards, it looks like south of Taterville, and then eventually going up towards those areas, New California, outside of our viewing area. But that's, again, we've been talking about it all morning, how, really all afternoon, the early afternoon, how some of these are cycling, and we have this gate-to-gate shear, and that is some signs that we are getting some stronger winds that are rotating within that storm. As we check on Live Doppler 10 and go back to the rainfall, this is what we're used to seeing, radar. Not much going on after that. So the severe threat's going to continue through the rest of the afternoon and the evening hours, but this is the immediate threat right now. This will all be moving out probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes, well out of St. Landry Parish, and then there's not much going on behind that. A couple showers here across Grand Coteau, Sunset, Karen Crow, up towards Ville Platte, and those areas, but the actual stronger storms, the two cells, are these ones right here. There's only one warning, and that's now moving out of, it's getting in the very northeastern edges of St. Landry Parish. Other than that, again, we're in the clear for the moment. I think there could be more redevelopment as we head through the afternoon, but nothing's going to really pop up in the next hour or so once these move out. Just not showing up at the moment. Going back over to velocity to just check what we have again across St. Landry Parish. So we're able to see the winds within the storm. Very tight couplet here, at least some gate-to-gate shear with the green and the reds matching up with each other. That's south of Taterville there in northeast St. Landry Parish. So as we check on everything, Keller Lake Road, I continue to say that. And we also, looks like we also have Keller Lake Road that runs through a majority of northeast St. Landry, which eventually runs into Levy Road. Those are going to be the areas that we're really watching closely. And you can see how bright the coloring is here. That is some strong winds here, regardless if they're rotating or not. So I think we have we don't have it yet, but we're getting a picture and some video coming in from North St. Landry Parish, which is hopefully somewhere closer to northeast St. Landry Parish, considering where this storm is. That's the only warning that we have at the moment, is this tornado warning. But and it's rightfully, I think, correct for the National Weather Service to be warned on this storm, considering the type of winds and what we're seeing with the velocity. Not many roads up here. I think Vise Road and then up towards Keller Lake Road, Levy Road, those areas. Definitely signs of rotation there, and that's your tornado warning. How much time do you need to bring up that? Okay, all right, yep. Trying to get some video from St. Landry Parish to pop up so we can see. And again, I've been watching National Weather Service here. We're able to communicate with them directly in Lake Charles. They're the ones issuing the warnings. And there's nothing coming in from any storm reports from train spotters or from any law enforcement, from any emergency personnel that states that we saw anything actually on the ground. So that is good news. If we had something significant, we probably would already have some storm reports. The fact that we haven't seen any storm reports is some good news there, that we may have not seen anything with these. We can have rotation in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and then that funnel cloud actually never comes down to the ground. That's why they call it a funnel cloud, till it actually reaches the ground. That's when it will become, and we call it a tornado. And we haven't yet to see any type of damage reports coming in. Emergency personnel have not said anything, so there is a good amount. That is some good news, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of tornadic behavior here over the last hour or so across those areas that we've been on the air for. Mainly Evangeline and St. Landry Parish right here, north of Palmetto. You're in the clear. L.A., really, again, 10 to 71. Everything is now east of your location with this as it continues to move off to the northeast. So that's the only warning. We've had a couple warnings, but that's the only tornado warning that we have in place, and it's been a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. There's the latest scan. Again, some very strong rotation here, getting up into the northeastern edges of St. Landry Parish. So coming off that Keller Lake Road that I've been mentioning, hopefully everybody took cover with this, as I wouldn't be surprised if there's, again, some sort of... Okay, so we're checking with law enforcement, we're checking with everything, and we're not getting any reports in the newsroom right now across Evangeline or St. Landry Parish. Hopefully this gets out of northeastern St. Landry Parish here soon, and we get away with nothing, because, again, this is some significant signs that there is rotation ongoing in this area right here. That's east of Taterville and crossing Keller Lake Road. So a lot of rural areas up here. Again, we're getting over towards the Mississippi and over towards the Levy Road there and those areas. But nonetheless, that's pretty textbook 101 that we are getting some rotation in this area over towards Bayou Current, and then that will eventually get out of our viewing area. So this tornado warning goes until 1:15, about 9 minutes left on that, as it's heading towards LA 105 that runs right on the eastern edge of much of St. Landry Parish. I think that's the levee that runs all the way up that way to kind of give the chaffle eye there. Away from the western side. So anywhere along that Levee Road and up towards that area, Bayou Current, definitely some strong rotation there. Still waiting on that video. Okay. That one's trying. We're trying to get video from St. Landry Parish, which is exactly where we're at right now, where we're looking on velocity. I'm sure they're going to be over towards 49, looking over towards the east there. Just giving you a recap, if you are joining us here on KLFY, we appreciate it. I'm meteorologist Chris Cozart here in the Live Doppler 10 Storm Team Weather Center. We have a tornado warning that will be for another 8 minutes up across the northeastern portions of St. Landry Parish. That's that red polygon there. We've had a couple different warnings throughout this morning. I say this morning. Well, now we're in the afternoon. And one that was with the cell that's in southern Avoyelles Parish has expired, so we're no longer looking at that. Some heavy rains and could be some small hail with that as we see that moving off to the northeast. A lot of that continues to move off to the northeast here at about 30 miles per hour. That's the only concern we have. I do want to mention what I'm going to do here is put up the QR code for our weather app. It's a great weather app to have for local weather, and we made it easy for you to get on your phone. So if you have your phone and you have your camera app, you just go to the camera and take a picture of your screen right now, and you'll be able to download our weather app. The phone will do the rest for you. It's a free weather app to have. You would be getting warnings right now. If there's lightning within your area, it gives you notifications. You can really adjust it to anything you want it to be. But it's a good local weather app to have, one of the best that we have here in Acadiana. So, again, take a picture of that, and the phone will do the rest. It's free. Check it out. Set those for the warnings for the rest of the day in case you have any warnings in your area. If there's lightning, if there's rain, it will notify you there as well. It's a great weather app to have. All right, I think we have the VO ready to go. Not surprising, just some dark clouds here with that tornado warning in northeastern St. Landry Parish. As everything's moving pretty quickly now, so I think it's going to be done out of St. Landry Parish here in the next, let's put it 10, 15 minutes, really. And the warning's about to expire here in about 6 minutes. So there's live Doppler 10 here, as the current time is 1:09. And the actual cell that we've been watching, it's about to cross over out of our viewing area. It's moving out well east of Palmetto. The next National Weather Service, you see, they've picked it up here. That's Simmsport and those areas, just north of the Morganza Spillway, to give you an idea how far away this is. So we'll stay on for the next 5 minutes because it's about to get out of St. Landry Parish. But that's the only warning we have. We still have some pretty strong storms here across Avoyelles Parish, Cottonport. I think there's probably some hail right now in those areas. I don't see any rotation as I'm watching it off screen, but Cottonport definitely, you want to be inside with that one. Hail is going to be a concern with that one. A lot of lightning. That's all up towards Longbridge and Warraville and south of Mansura. So all that continues to work off to the northeast across Avoyelles Parish, and then we have that one cell left that's about to move out of St. Landry Parish. So if you're watching now from Palmetto, you're well in the clear. There's some light rain now getting back to LeBeau. You're in the clear. All this continues to work off to the east. And it's moving right over Netta. So all this is like right where LA 105 runs across the eastern edges of St. Landry Parish. Odenburg is right there. McCree, you see those areas in Quinton, and then outside of KLFY's viewing area. Further down to the southwest, nothing ominous, nothing developing. It's only been these two cells that have been a little stubborn for us on this Tuesday afternoon. We still need to be weather aware here. Significant weather outbreak, significant severe weather outbreak is mostly going to be north of us for this afternoon and this evening, but you can see even a slight risk here in Acadiana can prove to bring in severe weather, as we've had those two tornado warnings. That's what we're expecting for this afternoon, this evening, is a slight to almost enhanced risk in a lot of Acadiana. It's mostly north of I-10 will be the greater threat to see some strong to severe thunderstorms like we've been dealing with here since we've been on for the last hour or so. I'm going to put up the tornado watch one more time to show you what we have, and that's for northern Acadiana. This tornado watch goes all the way up into the heart of Mississippi, but here for us in Acadiana, that includes Rapides, Avoyelles, Allen, Evangeline, St. Landry, and Acadia Parish, This goes until 7 p.m., but depending on how the cold front works through tonight, it may need to get extended a little bit further into the overnight hours, as some of the models are still showing some stronger storms closer to midnight. So I don't think we're really out of the severe threat until after midnight tonight. You see Future Track has more storms right around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., and then more storms trying to develop there as that cold front moves through. So I think the severe threat will go until about 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Probably by midnight we're done. This is the severe weather you need to know. We're under that slight to enhanced risk, level 2, level 3 out of the 5. Damaging winds, weak tornadoes, large hail, all possible in Acadiana. And as we go back to Live Doppler 10 Storm Team radar, we've had 2 tornado warnings, 2 different cells that have produced warnings. No reports of damage just yet. And they are handing off that tornado warning to Slidell. That's the next National Weather Service that will handle that. So that's what they have. We're winding down our threat for now. I think there could be some more redevelopment and more risk for us as we go forward through the rest of your Tuesday. But for now, we're definitely settling down across northern Acadiana with some scattered showers for the rest of us here in our viewing area, as that tornado watch goes until 7 p.m., but make sure to join us tonight, 5, 6, and also 10 p.m. Chief Meteorologist Heath Morton will be there for KLFY News 10, and he'll have the latest on the severe threat. I appreciate your patience. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much here this afternoon as we continue to track that severe threat and those tornado warnings across the northern portions of Acadiana. Let's get back to regular programming.